Great day everyone, I am Manelyn Nanale, and for today's video presentation, I am going to discuss or to tackle about language skills in grammar and vocabulary. So teaching grammar by Diane Larsen Freeman. So now let's begin with what is grammar. So we will see it later. So grammar is the study or use of the rules about word change their form and combined with other words. So grammar is a set of structural rules. It helps us to understand how words change their forms and are combined into a sentence. Now, so there are three-dimensional grammar framework. So first we have the form or structure. So in which of the by having to do with form, we have those overt grammatical patterns and morphosyntactic form that tell us in how a particular construction is put together and how it is sequence with other constructions in a sentence or a text. So with a certain construction, it is also important to a rule that sound or phonemic and writing or graphemic patterns. So second, we have here the semantic. So semantic, which we deal with what is grammar contractions mean. So note that meaning can be a lexical or it can be a grammatical. And for the last one, we have the pragmatics. So it is the use, which means the use of language in context. So the context can be a social or it can be a linguist discourse co-text. So now let's move on to classroom application, a teaching process. So in traditional grammar teaching has employed a structural syllables and lesson composed of three phases. So the first one we have here the presentation, and the second one we have the practice, and the third one we have the production or communication. So in the first phase, and understanding of a grammatical points is provided. And in the second phase, a student practice the grammar construction using oral drills and writing exercises. And for the third phase, a student are given frequent opportunities for a communicative use of the grammar to promote automatic and accurate use. Now let's move on to grammaring. So, which dimension of grammar construction is practiced, and the way it is practiced will depend on the nature of the learning challenge. So, first we have the form. So, for instance, if the learning challenge is form, a great deal of meaningful iterations will be required. Example of an activity that works on a form, it is a language game. So second, we have a meaning. So if the teacher has decided that the challenge of a particular constructions lies in the semantic dimension, then a different sort of practice activity should be planned. So the third one is use. So when use is the challenge, so it is because students have shown that they are having a hard time selecting the right constructions for a particular context. So next we have the garden path. So another option for promoting student awareness is to use the garden path strategy. So according to Tomasillo and Heron on 1988 to 1989, so as applied teaching grammar, this means giving students information about construction without giving them the full picture. Thus, making it seems easier than it is, or in other words, leading them down the garden path. So next we have corpus in form. So according to T. John on 1994, Lin and Jiang on 2009, So they can do so far both informal and formal language usage, rating, and spoken. So when using corpora such as the British National Corpus, the corpus of contemporary American English such as Michigan corpus of academic spoken English, students are exposed to genuine example instead of invented ones. Next, here we have the explicit grammar instruction. So one option for explicit rule instruction is to use a consciousness reasoning task, in which it is the student job to induce a grammatical generation from data they have been given. So the last but not the least, we have providing feedback. So providing learners with feedback which they can use to correct their misapprehension about some aspect of the target language. So it is an essential function of language teaching. So one of very essential for the student is the feedback from the teacher. So this way to improve the student learnings in language. So that would be all. So thank you so much for watching and listening to my presentation, and I hope that you have learned something from me. Thank you, and God bless everyone.